Okay, let's just jump right in. We're about to look at a prediction that is so massive, it sounds like straight-up science fiction. A prediction that doesn't just tweak our economy, but completely rewrites the rules of work, of jobs, of scarcity itself. And you know, the craziest part? The foundation for it is already being built right now.
So this is the quote that really kicked everything off. At the recent Abundance Summit, Elon Musk dropped this absolute bombshell. And let's be clear, he's not talking about a 10% increase, not double, 10 times bigger. He's basically saying that unless we have some kind of major global conflict, we're headed straight for an era of almost unimaginable wealth.
So what on earth does that actually mean? Well, this isn't just about more money flying around. Musk is talking about a complete paradigm shift, a world where AI and robotics pretty much solve every shortage we can think of. It's a whole new kind of economy, built on a totally new principle. Just try to wrap your head around that. A future where everything is so automated, so efficient, that the very concept of scarcity becomes obsolete. A world where AI agents literally run out of things to make for us because, well, we have everything we need. In that future, the basic laws of supply and demand, they just don't apply anymore. That's the vision. Total, complete abundance. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's really easy to just wave this off as, Elon being Elon. But what if it's not? What if the tech being rolled out right now actually points to this being, well, inevitable? Let's look at the actual infrastructure that's being put in place that makes this whole 10x thing plausible.
Right. A future like this doesn't just happen. It needs a foundation. And it turns out that foundation is being built as we speak by companies like NVIDIA. And they're not just making faster chips anymore. Oh no, they are building the operating system for an entirely new kind of workforce.
The key is in the language here. NVIDIA's CEO calls their new project, OpenClaw, the operating system of agentic computers. Think back to what Microsoft Windows did for the personal computer. It gave everyone a simple, universal way to use it, and that unlocked its potential for the entire world. That's exactly what NVIDIA is trying to do here, but for personal AI agents. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates that massive shift. We are moving from step 1, where we use AI as a tool to answer our questions, to step 2, where we just delegate entire jobs to it. Soon, companies won't just sell you software, they'll rent you digital workers. Software itself is becoming a labor force.
So all of this sounds pretty theoretical, I get it. But we're already seeing these 10x productivity jumps in the real world. Let me show you a totally mind-blowing example from Google that proves just how fast this is all moving. Okay, picture this. You want to design a new app. The old way, you get teams of designers. You spend weeks going back and forth, endless meetings, revisions, and it costs thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars just to get a prototype. That was the old way.
This is the new way, 40 seconds. Using a new method called vibe design in Google's tools, you can just describe the feeling or the vibe you want with your voice, and it will generate a full design system and a working app prototype in 40 seconds. Just let that sink in. Weeks of human work, now done in less time than it takes to make a coffee.
And honestly, it gets even crazier. You can build a 3D multiplayer game from a single sentence. Or, and this is my favorite part, you can just paste in a URL for, say, apple.com, and the AI will instantly scan the whole site, pull its entire design language, the fonts, the colors, that specific glassy feel, and just apply it to your project. Suddenly, hiring a designer for that becomes optional. So all this amazing tech, this incredible speed, it naturally leads to the one question that really matters. What does this mean for your career? That AI worker infrastructure from NVIDIA, that's what powers tools like Vibe Design. And when you put those two things together, you get a massive shift in the job market. It's time for a little reality check.
This is the question we all need to start asking ourselves, right? Andrej Karpathy, who was one of the co-founders of OpenAI, recently published some research where he scored 342 real-world jobs on how replaceable they are by AI. And the results, well, his words, not mine, were almost uncomfortable.
And you can see why right here. Look at these scores out of 10. A medical transcriptionist, a perfect 10, totally replaceable. But the real shocker is software developer, a very high-skilled, high-paying job, scoring an 8 or a 9. Now compare that to a plumber, who scores less than 1. The pattern is crystal clear. The immediate danger isn't to blue-collar work, it's to skilled, white-collar desk jobs. And this chart just drives that point home.
The data shows that high-paying desk jobs, we're talking over $100,000 a year, have a super high AI exposure score of 6.7. Physical labor jobs? Almost zero. It turns out your high salary might actually be your biggest risk factor, because the more you earn sitting at a computer, the more of your job AI can already do.
So where does all this leave us? Well, the promise of this abundant future seems very real, but the workforce that's actually going to build it is going to look completely different from the one we have today.
This, right here, is the new economic reality, plain and simple. The old workforce of human designers, coders, and analysts is being replaced by AI agents and the vibe coders who direct them. And just like the data showed us, the final stronghold for human labor, the one place AI can't really touch yet, is physical work.
And that really brings us to the final critical question. This isn't science fiction anymore. The 10x economy is coming, and it's being built by this new AI workforce. So you have to ask yourself, based on what you do every day, is this massive shift going to be your single biggest opportunity, or is it going to be your single biggest risk?